Today we're hanging out and we're talking about Kinda Pregnant, Amy Schumer's new film on Netflix. This film is about a woman named Lainey, played by Amy Schumer, who wants to settle down and start a family, but that all falls apart, so she puts on a fake baby bump, tells a lie that spirals out of control, and accidentally falls for her dream guy. Let's discuss. This film was directed by Tyler Spindell and is a Happy Madison production for Netflix. Adam Sandler obviously had a lot to do with the film. I mean, it's a Happy Madison production, and his wife and his daughter are also in the film. It's written by Julie Pava and Amy Schumer. It follows a 40-something-year-old Lainey who thought she was about to get proposed to by her longtime boyfriend, but instead he proposes a threesome. And she's super upset by this, mostly because she really wants to start a family and she wants to be a mom. And while this is happening to her, her best friend since childhood, who is already married, finds out that she is pregnant. And this sort of creates this dynamic between the two that also sets up for the entire film of Lainey exploring her own grief and want and desire to be a mom and have a family of her own. And there's some deep-seated jealousy and complicated feelings happening. Obviously, this is an Amy Schumer and Adam Sandler production, so of course it's explored all through a comedic lens. And I have to say that this dynamic between friends, specifically women, it's just true. You know, as much as you love your friend, obviously, if they have something that you really want and feel like you can't get, that's going to create some natural feelings of jealousy. So these are totally normal feelings and it's a totally normal circumstance. It's just explored in this movie in a totally unnormal way, in that Lainey puts on a fake belly and she gets mistaken for being pregnant and then runs with it, meets an actually pregnant person named Meg, who she becomes friends with. Then she falls in love with Meg's brother, and the lies just keep snowballing. Now, I've been seeing this movie getting chewed up all over the internet, and I just have to say, I believe that that's mostly coming from men who already don't like Amy Schumer, and also probably can't relate to this idea of a ticking biological clock. So I think some of the criticism that this film is getting is a little bit unfair, but I am not going to sit here and say that the movie is great. I'm also not going to say that the movie is that good. I'm just going to say that I think the themes that the movie explores are definitely worth exploring, but I think that they could have been explored in a more meaningful way. Because this film is incredibly formulaic and far-fetched, and in my opinion, really could have and should have gone deeper. There's so many relationships that are present in this film that really could have allowed for a deeper exploration of these feelings that a lot of women experience all the time, such as complicated female friendships and fear/want around starting a family, which is a huge deal. And this is the only Amy Schumer film that I've seen. I haven't seen Trainwreck yet, and I will say that the reason I haven't is super dumb. I'll be the first one to admit it. I auditioned for a very, very small role in the film, didn't get it, and never saw the movie. And at this point, I'm not seeing the movie just because I just haven't seen it yet. So again, this is all I know of Amy Schumer as a filmmaker. One of my biggest issues with the film is that it very clearly takes inspiration from these iconic female friendship, female empowerment films such as Legally Blonde and Bridesmaids. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? These films are incredible, they're amazing, they're staples in this genre. But it does so in a way that did not give me enough of a wink, wink. Can I not wink? Maybe I should stop. It just didn't do it in enough of a wink, wink way. For example, when Lainey thinks she is going to get proposed to and then is quite disappointed when her man proposes a threesome, she lets out a blood-curdling scream in the center of the restaurant, a la Legally Blonde. And Lainey has this like friend/foe in her life who's played by an overweight Australian actress, a la Rebel Wilson in Bridesmaids. And there's a lot of that dynamic that's present in Bridesmaids that's carried over into Kinda Pregnant. But again, they just weren't like overt enough about it. It just kind of was there, and I was like, you know, we know what you're doing, so like give me a little nudge, and it just never came. And like I said, a lot of the situations that happen in this film are quite slapstick and over the top and not necessarily my taste. But again, it's Amy Schumer, who, even if she's not your taste, she's a highly successful comedian. So obviously there is going to be some actually funny moments in the film. Amy shows some real vulnerability in her acting in some of the scenes where I really did feel for her, but I never forgot that she was 100% in the wrong, so I also appreciated that. The resolution is fairly easy, wrapped up in a bow, as is to be expected with this genre, so I wasn't really surprised about that. The themes of the film are worth exploring, but it never really quite gets underneath the surface, and we don't go as deep as I think this film really needed in order for me to have enjoyed it. Yeah, Kind of Pregnant could have gone deeper, and I wish it did. Have you seen Kind of Pregnant? What did you think? Make sure to subscribe and we can hang out again soon. Mwah.